Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Brandon, and today I'm bringing you a game of Search and Destroy on Nuketown. This was taken during Nuketown 24/7, and I actually do end up going flawless in this video. But I've done about 50 takes for this video, so I'm pretty dead tired. But I'm here to talk about something a little bit more serious, and that is the 2001 9/11 tragedy, and how today marks the 10-year anniversary of what had happened. So basically, I am aware that there may be someone who's watching this video that either wasn't born or is unaware of what had happened. So let me just first clarify what had happened, at least to my best extent. So basically, to begin with, there were two planes that were hijacked, and both planes came from different airports. I think one was from New York and another one was from Massachusetts, but don't quote me on that because I'm actually not very sure. But two different planes were hijacked, and they soon crashed into the World Trade Center building. But let me first state that both planes were filled to capacity, which means there's probably anywhere from 100 to 150 people on the plane at the time. So not only were the people in the building affected, but all the people that were riding the plane at the time were also instantly killed. So basically, it was really early in the morning when both planes hit the World Trade Center, and within a matter of 30 minutes from the planes hitting both buildings, both towers of the World Trade Center came down, killing almost 3,000 Americans, and that includes not only the people who were working in the building, but also the civilians and the hard workers who were the police department, the fire marshals, and even the paramedics who were trying to save the people who were affected. So 3,000 people died during the incident just in New York City alone. Another plane, the third plane, hit the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Not a lot of people are aware of this whole incident, but it's really not as prominent as the New York City World Trade Center incident, but enough people were lost in it to make a big deal. A fourth plane was on track to hit the White House in Washington, D.C. as well, but it wasn't successful in its run, and I believe it crashed somewhere in Pennsylvania in a forest in the middle of nowhere. So the people on that plane were killed, but luckily no one in the White House was affected. Obviously, if the president was hurt during this event could have been much worse, and the world could be about 50 times worse. But I'm actually here just to talk and kind of remember and recall what I had felt during the whole situation. Obviously, I was really young during the time. I was like 5 or 6 years old, so during the incident, I was in kindergarten, I believe. So I was really young, but I know enough about it, and I remember it clearly enough to be able to recall some of the things that I went through. So basically, at the time, I was living in Connecticut, which is 45 minutes or so from New York City, and prior to this, I had been in the city hundreds of times. Literally, we went there like every other week, so I was really into the whole New York City thing. I knew every building in there, and when I heard that the World Trade Center was hit, I was like instantly crushed, because obviously as a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old, however young I was or whatever, obviously I wasn't really aware of what had happened, but when I heard what had happened, I knew enough about it to really care, and from a stance of a kindergartner, I could say that I knew more than probably the 5th graders at my school. But anyways, I was in kindergarten, and my kindergarten teacher, Miss Tui, kept leaving to take breaks to go to the library. And let me first say that this was 2001, so technology was not far advanced as it is today. And there was one TV in our whole school, and that was in the library. So when my kindergarten teacher and the other kindergarten teacher kept taking breaks to go to the library to go watch, I guess, the TV, of course I didn't know that at the time, they came back and they were pretty much crying their brains out. And I was like, what had happened? Because obviously I didn't know at the time. And I do remember a lot of the kids in my classes were getting signed out. Obviously their parents were picking them up, and I really didn't know what had happened. So soon after, my parents came and picked me up, and actually just my mom. And as soon as I got in the car, she told me what had happened. And when she notified me and said that, 2 planes had hit the World Trade Center, and a ton of people were dying, I knew instantly that this was really serious. And one thing that I should say was my dad actually worked in New York City at the time. In fact, he was scheduled to attend a meeting at the World Trade Center the week that the bombing took place. And that's pretty serious, because if you think about it, he could have been in there when it happened. So obviously, when I heard that it took place in New York City, I was really hurt, and I knew that, my dad wasn't home. I didn't know what had happened. So I was pretty much like really scared of what had happened. My mom was like, no, don't worry, his boss sent him home. And but one thing I should say was my dad, some of the people that he worked with had an office in the World Trade Center, and they were actually impacted directly by the plane. Luckily, they were the level below where the plane hit, exactly the level below, so they were able to get out okay without any injuries. But it really could have been a lot more serious than it had been. And let me just say that in Connecticut, we were like 45 minutes from New York, like I mentioned, and in our backyard, we can actually see the smoke, and that was damn serious. Like, seriously, we were this far away, but we were able to see the smoke. That just shows how serious and how bad the World Trade Center was hit, and these are huge buildings, so obviously it must have been really serious for the smoke to travel like 50 miles. But anyways, guys, this video is wrapping up, and I hope you enjoyed my little story of what had happened, what I can recall from 9/11. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment below of what you think or what you can recall from 9/11. Where were you when the whole tragedy took place? But before I end this, let me just say that my heart and prayers go out to each and every individual who was affected by 9/11. I do give my thoughts and prayers out to your families. I really do wish that things had gone a different way, but obviously things will get better, and I know that people will recover soon enough. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, rate, and subscribe. Make sure to leave it a thumbs up if you liked it. Thanks for watching. Peace.